Welcome to The Vault at 201 North Broadway, podcast for innovators and problem solvers talking all things small business, entrepreneurship, and workforce development.
Last episode, we talked with Maddie about being a young entrepreneur navigating starting her own photography business. And this week, we're excited to have our owner of It's Roasted, a local food truck slamming the food truck scene here in Billings, Montana.
Thank you to the Small Business Development Center for sponsoring The Vault at 201 North Broadway. The Small Business Development Center provides you with free one-on-one counseling, business plan assistance, marketing research, financial projection assistance, and more to small businesses.
Today we have Gabe with It's Roasted.
Hey.
I wrote that just for you.
Thanks. That's like everyone was always like, man, you guys are killing it. And it's like, I
It's
guess.
roasted.
Yeah, it's roasted.
You're roasting the food truck scene. That's what I should have put there.
Yeah.
I missed a moment, guys.
We appreciate it. I mean, problem solving, right? That's all this really is there's a void, and there was a void in Billings of certain food items, and we decided to be the ones to bring that to market. And,
I love it.
You're slamming it.
yeah, roasting it.
You're roasting it. You can take that. We'll let you take that as your tagline.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
So, Gabe, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? We're really excited to hear about It's Roasted, but we'd love first to learn a little bit about you.
Yeah. Well, I'm not from Montana. I'm from California. Moved here in 2016. I've always had kind of like a entrepreneur, selling things from when I can remember. Like, I'm from Salinas, which is like a small agricultural city in California in the Central Coast. So we're like 20 minutes from the ocean and 30 minutes from the mountains. So
perfect.
Yeah, just like a beautiful, beautiful place to live. Everyone asked me, well, why did you move? And it was just like, you got to get comfortable with uncomfortable situations. And like, for someone from California by the ocean, like the most uncomfortable thing is like Montana.
Moving to the mountains where there is no ocean.
No ocean, and like not a lot of stuff that you grew up with.
Still mountains, though.
Yeah,
We
still
got mountains.
Better mountains.
Way better mountains.
And, I dipped my foot into sales, excelled in that, but I really just wanted to have like ownership of something. I was always like representing brands and building brands and bringing in revenue for other brands. And I thought, like, if I can do this for other companies, I should be able to do this for myself. So that was one thing. Like, I always had a vision in my head of having ownership and developing a brand. I just didn't know what it was. Like, I had several things that failed because of lack of education and really just not being the right time. And It's Roasted was just like God's plan and like perfect timing. And so that's brought us to where we are today.
Yeah. So where'd you get the name? It's Roasted.
So I was sitting with Devon Hayes and Aubrey Kincaid in Aubrey's garage.
I love where this is going.
And like,
a lot of great ideas, I think, come from garages.
Which is funny.
I feel like that's
Yeah.
just where people think.
that's the spot. And we were just chilling, having a good time. And I was like, yo, I have this idea of bringing elotes and baked potatoes and like a whole different food wave to Montana, Billings. And they're like, man, that's a great idea. Like, how would you cook it? And I was like, oh, we'll roast it. It's Roasted. And I was like, that's the name. Like,
Light bulb.
yeah, it was like, when I like think of names and stuff, like I always like go third person. Like I thought of like, oh, what if I'm a customer? Hey, let's go to It's Roasted, and it clicked, and I was like, this is our name. And my cousin, he's actually in Mexico. I have like a lot of entrepreneurs, family in Mexico. He's a designer for Skechers.
Oh, wow.
That's a cool job.
And he gave me my design like on the strength. He gave it to me for free. He's like, hey, cousin, like I'm going to give you your logo for free. And he blessed us with the design and everything. So yeah, once I put myself third person of like, hey, let's go to It's Roasted, I was like, that's a catchy name.
I like it.
I do too. And it's fun because you're like, it's roasted. Like, what can I get?
Yeah.
He's got a really cool roaster, and I don't know if it would be that interesting for people who don't love kitchen equipment and tools.
Yeah.
But gosh, the first time I saw it, I was like, Gabe, I know you're really busy.
Cool.
There's this line, but you got to show me all about this.
Yeah. And I get people that are like, can I touch it? I'm like, not right now. It's super hot.
Maybe later.
You see the gloves I'm wearing?
Yeah. It's a really cool custom made machine that we had done in Texas.
So has cooking been part of your background, upbringing? Like,
not really. My mom is a horrible cook.
okay. That's funny.
We will not share this with your mom.
She knows it too. Bless her heart. My mom has like 8 brothers and sisters. Her mom died when she was really young.
Mm-hmm.
So like traditionally your mom will show you how to cook. My aunts that are older that got to be with my grandma, like they all can cook really well. But like from my mom down, like not that good at cooking. So I got like a really good palate of going over to my aunts and uncles' houses, having really good food, and like going to my house and having like a bean burrito or like, you know what I mean?
Getting shocked. We're like, whoa.
Yeah. So like, I want to say it allowed me to acquire a really good palate and like appreciate good food. And I never wanted to get into the food industry. I always thought and saw myself of like in sales and like business development. It was just something that like, I guess the food truck life chose me.
It typically does, I think.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that is awesome. So we've talked about your food truck. It's roasted. Let's talk about what you serve.
Yeah. So we always introduce menu items and we always do things from like the customer perspective because we're customers too, right? Like we still go eat at a bunch of different places. We still go shop at a bunch of different stores. So our menu items are kind of revolved around what do we like? What would we wait in line for? What would we crave? What would we eat? And Celeste and I have always like placed a really high regard of elotes and corn in the cup because those are our favorite items. Like every Saturday we would go to my friend's spot. He would make elotes. He would make baked potatoes. We'd get them. We'd go to the beach, and that was our Saturday. Mm-hmm. It all revolved around that one item. And I am not a detail-oriented person, and I am not, like, in the dirt per se. I'm more, like, operations, social media, branding. And Celeste is the complete opposite. Like, she looks at all the details, flavors, and it's roasted wouldn't be it's roasted without like her particular eye of things. So every menu item like Celeste vets to the max. Like we've always wanted to do those birria nachos that we dropped. It took us like 4 weeks because she's like, this cheese isn't right. We need to try multiple cheeses. Like, oh, these tortilla chips aren't right. We need to try multiple tortilla chips.
She's your quality taste tester.
Yeah, that's my job. So it's amazing.
I guess we should also say Celeste is Gabe's wife.
Yep.
And she is amazing, but she's also part owner of It's Roasted.
Yeah.
So you guys complement each other really well.
Very well. Like I see people run food trucks or try to do it by themselves and I'm like, this is so much work. I would blow out. Like it's so much work. Mm-hmm. And we just complement each other so well. And we have different facets of like the business that we handle. And hey, you're going to handle that better than I can and vice versa. So yeah, like our menu we have a revolving menu. So for corn and potatoes, we have like 6 different flavors of elotes that we offer. There's cheese, queso con chile, hot Cheetos, Doritos, and then we always drop like a special flavor of the week. It's been Takis, Turbo Flamas, Doritos with limon and chile, just getting that customer experience of like, hey, you should try this chip. And so we give it to them, let them try it. And the baked potato, we have the bacon, the carne asada.
Carne asada is so good.
So bomb. That's my favorite.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, extra jalapenos on that thing, that's my deal.
I can be a little bit of a wuss, so I don't get
I'm
the
like, I don't know if I could have
jalapeno.
this extra. I could have a few, but
Yeah. And so that's really the food lineup that I think brought us to where we're at. And from a customer standpoint, it's like, well, when we first started, we were operating out of a tent and people would be like, oh, that's all, like corn and potatoes. And it's like, yeah, we don't do everything. We do a few items really well. Well, let me try a corn or a baked potato. And they come back and say, hey, I grew up on a farm eating corn all the time. This is the best corn I've ever had. And it's really cool to see like the demographics and age groups of our customers, because we have like some 80-year-old customers that just get plain buttered corn, you know, and they love it's roasted. And then we have, you know, the younger scene of like, let me double up on the hot Cheetos and the butter and drizzle.
I want
and
all of it.
Yeah.
All of the things.
So it's cool that we're able to, our menu serves so many different people, and it's just amazing to see that grow.
But you keep your, I mean, along with what you're saying about Celeste, everything has to be like taste the perfect.
Tastes perfect.
So there's certain times where you don't offer your papas and your lotes.
Yeah. I mean, right now we could get corn, but it's not the quality that we'd like to serve. And it's kind of like that long-term thinking, like, yeah, we can make a little bit more money, but is it going to ruin our brand?
Yeah.
And so there's been times I've had to throw away boxes of corn because it just wasn't up to standard. I've had to talk to vendors and suppliers of like, hey, 2 years ago this would have worked, but now it's of the utmost importance to keep our brand like top tier.
And these ladies can tell you all about it. Brand is key.
Yeah.
That's your
No, I love that. And
identity.
It sounds like you and Celeste really clear roles and
For sure.
if you're working with your wife, I mean, I can't imagine working with my husband.
Yeah.
I mean, God bless him, love him, but you know, working with them and then, you know, having life too. So having those clear roles and responsibilities, which it sounds like you guys have pretty.
It's taken time.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Okay. Yeah. It wasn't always perfect.
now it's a gift, right? Because we work for each other and we work for our family and we work together. She worked at St. V's as a medical assistant, and you know, we were taking our daughter to daycare, and it was just one of those things of like, gosh, someone else is raising like my baby girl, like that's my princess, like
Aww.
you know what I mean?
That's so cute.
So we just were like, hey, let's open up a food truck. And this was all pre-COVID. And so we saved up some money, put half on a credit card, paid half of it cash. And COVID hit and we're like, well, fuck, I guess we're doing it. Like, there's no
Like, here
going
it
back.
is.
Yeah. And so having those defined roles of she left her job first, you know, so her roles were defined first. And I kept working my full-time job for 2 years and working the food truck at the same time, to kind of create what my role would be, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the most important piece of it, and especially for your team members of not micromanaging people. I think that's the killer, right? If you have a driven person that knows what to do and you micromanage them, like you're going to suck them dry. I think what you said, having defined roles is the most important thing you can have, because, I mean, you guys all have roles within your company, and it's like, hey, I do these roles really well. I don't need to be managed on this. Give me a goal or give me an expectation, and I'm going to hit it. And I think we've done that pretty good so far.
I think so.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit, you just mentioned it. So you didn't go like full time, right? It's roasted until 2 years. So what was that like? And like, when did you know, like, this is the moment where I can leave this other job and make this side hustle my full hustle?
Yeah. I think everyone has a standard of life they want to live, and like being really intentional and being internal about it of like, what do I want? How do I want to live my life? Do I need to have the newest car? Do I need to have the newest watch, the newest phone? Or am I just super happy to wake up with my kids and take them for a walk and drop my daughter off at school and pick her up and be involved. And it took me 2 years to figure out what I wanted. I could have left earlier, but I just didn't know what I wanted. And it would have, I think, been an error to leave early because I didn't have defined roles like we talked about and things like that. I didn't know what I wanted my life to look like. So it was really hard at first. But I mean, so I grew up in Salinas, California, and it's an agricultural city, and there's people that are working 14, 15, 16-hour days working in a field. And I'm like, well, I'm not working in a field, so I guess I could work 15 hours, right? Mm-hmm. So it was waking up really early and having great time management skills of like going to my job, doing sales calls, executing on those sales calls, and still not taking away from the company and bringing revenue towards them, and finding that after hours of like, okay, this is when I work on my business. So it was like working from 7 a.m. to, 7 p.m. or longer, 6 days a week. And it's just a workload that you have to say, well, I'm going to do this for a little bit. I'm going to do this to get where I need to go. And I think all the work that you put in during that time allows you to like create the brand and have people grow with you,
No, I think that's great. And it, you mentioned Devon and Aubrey, but during this like journey of It's Roasted, were there other people that you found like really that helped your guys' journey to get to where you are today?
Yeah. Like the biggest help to start up was my friend Fabian, and his family had been like roasting corn and roasting potatoes for like 20 years. Like that's all they did. And I had asked them like, hey man, can I have your family's blessing to bring this to Montana? And he was like, sure. Like, I know who you are as a person. Like, you're not going to have our company name, but like, we're going to give you the tools to become successful. And so he was like the biggest help, answering calls, like Riverstone Health. Like there's all these different moving parts of getting into the food industry and meeting people, right? Like networking. I never really liked to network. I was like, you move.
Yeah, same.
Does anyone?
Yeah, you move from California to Montana. Like people are giving you stink faces. Like, oh, you're from California, And I met like really cool people. Like I met Kayla at Zoot Enterprises.
Oh, yeah.
That was
we did a kitchen meetup.
That was the first time I met Kayla, and Kayla introduced me to Gigi Marie. And like ever since I met Gigi Marie, I've been sharing her commissary kitchen with her, and it's been 2.5 years, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's just like creating relationships and watering them.
Yeah. I love that.
Checking in with people. Like, I think the journey is all about relationships and who you meet and like growing with people. Like I said before, like life is short, grow with people, water them, because we're all going to need to be watered at some point in time too. Like I've had really shitty days and bad months and whatever, but like the people that I pour into, they pour into me. So it's like all yin and yang.
Oh, I love that. I like the watering thing. That sounds like a good analogy.
Yeah.
All right. I have questions for you.
Cool.
What's one piece of advice that you've gotten throughout this journey that you were like, that was the most helpful advice I've received?
From a business perspective?
I think just in general. Within the journey. I mean, if it was somebody that was just like, take the time with your family and that made sense for this journey, that could be it too,
I would say independence, right? Because with like freedom and independence, you can't have those things without extraordinary discipline, extraordinary work ethic, extraordinary relationships, communication, and not independence in a form of selfishness, but selflessness, right? Like giving people independence and showing them like hard work and showing them that like it's cliche, but you can build the life that you want. It's just going to take a lot of work. And all my friends, we all like are super positive with each other. And I think that's the biggest advice I would give, like someone wanting to open up a business. Don't take the money if you don't need to, right? Like,
we actually have a video that says that.
Really?
We play it once a month at our startup roadmap, and it was like, if you don't need to take the money, then don't take the money.
Yeah. Like, this whole thing has been bootstrapped, and I think you learn so much more from putting up your own funds, and it allows you to be much more, like, resourceful, And that's the thing of, like, teaching people how to fish instead of just giving them fish. So I think independence is like the biggest thing I would tell someone. Like, don't take money if you don't need to. Take advice.
Yeah.
Because the people that did it and are doing it will give you the advice for free. You know what I mean? It's free. Like, just take the advice and work on it.
Yeah.
So I would say that.
I feel like we'll become a broken record on here saying this, but business owners love to talk about their business and things that they've learned in their own journey. Hence why we have them come on here.
Right.
But you can learn a lot from them, and they would rather you not make the same mistakes as they did. And so that's so helpful. Just reach out, ask people, talk to them, have the conversations.
Write notes.
So impactful.
Yeah, I've told Moltz, hey, can you say that again? Let me write
Let
this
me type that out, please. Seriously.
We all just pretended to text on our invisible phones.
Yeah,
but you guys
I've been
can't see
typing
that right now.
Yeah. Typing the notes. So you guys have had like such a cool journey, and we're really glad you're in Montana. Thank you for coming from California. We're glad to have you here. What's coming up in this next year with It's Roasted that we should like be excited about?
This is going to be a year of tremendous growth, and finally being able to grow the way we've wanted to grow, but it's taken time to build processes and scale our team to be able to do what we've wanted to do. Like, Celeste and I have menu items for like the next 3 years, and it's kind of that thing of like, we could drop it now, but why? Right? Like, people are already happy, satisfied, and just dropping little things, right? It's going to be a year of just blessing people's palates.
I can't wait. Like, I'm ready. I'm like, if you ever need a taste tester, I'm sure we're all available.
We're for sure here for you.
For sure.
We will travel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you said you did weddings too, so you guys cater, you do lots of things.
Yeah, and it's kind of like sticking to what you're good at.
Yeah.
For us, weddings like over 150 to 250 people have kind of been our sweet spot. Mm-hmm. Anything lower just really doesn't make sense for our team and that. And anything above, it's just, we want to push out the best quality. Yeah. And so that 150 to 250 marker is kind of our sweet spot. And just being out in the public and being in the streets and knowing that, like, the people know where to come on a Saturday in June. It's June on a Saturday, you're going to pull up to It's Roasted and get some super good food. So we just want to be consistent, and we're always going to be consistent. But that's going to be like our driving force, is consistency in our customers.
I'm excited. Where's June at?
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, we're heading into winter, and that does not seem fun.
Yeah, we'll be open sooner. I just said June because that's like peak food truck season.
So true. We've talked about going to It's Roasted, but where can people typically find you, and how can they find out more information about you?
Yeah, our Facebook page. We do have a website. We do have online ordering, and it's come to be a good problem, I guess. We've set up an online platform to order, but there's just so many people that just wait in line to get food that we shut online ordering down. Mm-hmm. So as long as the people keep coming out and staying in line, it's like, it's funny. Like, everyone like, man, are you selling Jordans? What are you doing? Like, people are lining up, and it's like, we appreciate that so much. Like, I get butterflies every Saturday. Like, we do a little team huddle before Saturday. Like, look, guys, there's 20 people in line. Let's crush this first hour to be in a really good spot. So you can find us at our normal spot in the mall. Rimrock Mall has a food truck court facing Central by Krispy Kreme. We're going to be there consistently, and probably find us at all the big events that Billings has to offer next year as well.
Awesome.
So
Exciting. And how fun is it to have like people waiting and that, like it's such a fun thing, like people coming around because they love your food. They love coming out with their family and friends, and like they're coming because they're gathering around your food.
Well,
like,
I think that's just part of the like food truck experience. Like
exactly, waiting in line.
It's the whole, like, that's the ambiance of food truck food. Is like you stand there, wait in line, order, you wait for your food, and then you get it and you stand there and eat.
Right. And that's actually like the key, I think, to why people appreciate what we do. Because like our roaster's on, you can smell the corn, you can hear the corn being shucked, you can see some Mexican dude like shaving off all the corn and stuff, like,
which is hard, by the way. Like husking corn and then getting all those like pieces off, it is not an easy task.
You get really good forearms and grip strength.
I bet. I'm like, your hands are probably so strong.
I probably shucked 10,000 years of corn. It's like just crazy.
You guys can't see his arms right now, but he looks like the inflatable arms from SpongeBob.
Right? Gosh. It's not, but to go back to like, it's not fun.
Maybe fun wasn't the right word. Like exciting.
It's fun once you finish the line, right? Because it's
stressful,
like adrenaline,
to have the line.
Yeah, because we didn't always have a process, and we didn't always have like systems and procedures. And like when we first started out of a tent, like it was the worst. People would wait like 45 minutes for food, and I'm like, it's just like it's a struggle, and you're learning. But like, I don't know why people still kept showing up. Yeah, because of
the food and the people.
Good.
Yeah, it was like 40-minute wait times, and it wasn't until this year where we had like a system and a process. And that's when we were able to start serving 100 people every Saturday, 150. Bigger events, we're serving 500-600 people. It's fun once you're done, but like in the heat of like the battle, I guess, it's like, let's be fast, let's keep quality, let's get these people excited to come back and demolish their food. Like, want to come back and order more.
Yeah. That's something anyone that has worked in food service and it gets backed up or busy like that, you like turn around and see that line and immediately your stomach just drops. Yeah. But then, like you mentioned, after they've all gone through, and it's really rewarding because they say like, your stuff's always so good. And it must mean something that they're waiting in line for 45 minutes to an hour for your food. Like, most places, if it's just like meh, you're gonna wait there for like 5 to 10 minutes and then be like, no.
Yeah.
But it must really mean something if they're gonna wait it out and wait for that super good food.
Yeah, and that's how we're like, what's the worst thing about our business? Right? Like, we had to be real with ourselves. The worst part about our business was the line, was waiting. So we're like, once we eliminate that, it's fair game.
Yeah.
And so that's how we're going to get into these bigger events. Like, we got into really big ones this year, but not at the beginning because I was still working my full-time job. And I didn't have food experience. Like, I never worked in a kitchen before. So I didn't have that experience per se of like, oh, we need systems and procedures and write everything down. And this person does this and that. And I'm like, dude, I just know how to like build a brand is all. And so...
But you guys have built a strong one, so, like bringing all those skill sets into play.
Yeah.
And learning along the way.
For sure.
Now that you have the process and procedures, what's the biggest event that you've done so far? How many people?
It's the 3 biggest were the Strawberry Festival, Brews and Barbecue, and the Food Truck Battle.
Those are some big, heavy-hitting events.
Yeah.
And things.
The biggest one was, I think, the Food Truck Battle. Because, like, when you have a line, like, you're not focused on anything else except tickets. Like, we were calling out orders, like, within 20, 30 seconds. And our line was probably the biggest at the Food Truck Battle. We had a line, I want to say, of, like, 75.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
90
gosh.
people.
That's
like
awesome. Like, consistently throughout the day? Or
for, like, 3 or 4 hours.
Wow, that's awesome.
And people were like, dude, I love you, Gabe. Here's my ticket. I'm not waiting in line. I was
Aw.
like, I appreciate that because they still like voted for us or whatever. But yeah, that was by far the biggest event.
This one.
Scary too.
Yeah,
You
because
probably
not
learned
only
a lot. Yeah.
It's
Not
scary
only are
going
you-
sometimes because it's overwhelming with how many. They had the most food trucks. I think they had like 40 food trucks this
Yeah.
year.
not only are you the pressure of like serving customers and serving quality food to customers, but then it's like this is a contest. Like,
Yeah.
this is a competition going
Exactly.
on.
And it's like we're like I don't know if we're the youngest. We're pretty young food truck owners, and like everyone has so much experience and like wisdom, that comes with owning a food truck for a long time. So that always like really intimidating, because you're like, yeah, we have a brand and people love our food, but it's like we're still learning this thing.
Yeah.
So
I don't think you ever stop learning, though. I think business is always changing.
for sure.
And I think that's what you were saying earlier is you have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. And I think as a business owner and entrepreneur, you always have to be comfortable with consistent change
100%.
occurring in your business.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up that you said that as well, because I think that's just like a crucial thing for any entrepreneur, anyone starting a business, or honestly,
Just
like
anyone.
anything in your life, like anything new,
All the
is
things.
just learning to be comfortable with the uncomfortable and like stepping out of your comfort zone. And so, yeah, I wanted to bring that up because I think that's so valuable. And
For sure.
yeah, can we get that like written on the wall somewhere?
Yeah.
I'll tattoo it on my arm.
It was one of those things too, like just writing stuff down that like, oh, it's just like
That's a good idea.
We're
Yeah,
all
just-
just texting it to each other.
Yeah, write
just
it down.
write it down.
Open up my notes app real
Yeah.
quick.
It's really quick.
And I've never been like the person to like not ask questions, even though I look like an idiot. Like, cool. I'll
You know
I'll
the
ask.
thing
Ask the
though,
questions.
I learned in college, I've learned in high school, like everyone else is asking, like has the same question. They just don't ask it. So I think the brave people are the ones that do ask it because everyone else doesn't know either.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like no one else knows. They're just not going to raise their hand and ask.
Yeah,
Because they don't want to look like the idiot.
Except
Right.
everyone
So you just
else.
got to take that one for the team.
exactly.
Because they're all thanking you.
And everyone's like scared to like bring that thing, right? Like there was a couple people who were like, oh, corn and potatoes, like yeah, man, like elotes and papas. They're like, oh, I don't think it'll be. I'm like, just watch, like
Yeah.
trust me.
Just wait. Just
Yeah.
wait.
It always sounds so much better coming out of your mouth than it does mine.
Let's see. Here.
Can you say it one more time?
Yeah.
Both.
So I say, because I'm, elotes and papas.
I mean, we train our customers. You gotta get the elotes.
Elotes and
Yep.
papas.
And papas.
And
papas.
What's a
Elotes.
papa, like a dad? No, like a papa,
Papas.
a big potato. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, I'll take a big
love
papa
it.
then.
You can call me Big Papa.
Yeah, I was
Throw
just
your
thinking
hands
that.
in the air.
J-Lo's concert's streaming later.
I was also singing Let Me Clear My Throat earlier. Me and Carly were like jamming down here. Danny out there is probably like, what's going on in there?
Especially when we have the headphones on and we're speaking into the microphone and we're just screaming and we forget that this is a co-working space and there's people right
working.
outside the door.
I do have another question. Very serious one. What kind of ice cream do you like? Like what flavor?
Oh,
You know, sorbet falls into that if you would like.
so like, that's a really good. I have a actual like, I don't have a favorite. I feel like there's
That's okay.
a mood,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like,
I love that answer.
yeah, like,
But please go forward.
today I'm feeling like watermelon.
Oh,
Boom, sorbet. Bomb.
Okay.
I'm
love
feeling
it.
mango, and I like more like the fruit flavors.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
I like I don't know how to translate it in English, but like this is like my top 3. Rompope. I
And
should,
say that again in the microphone for us.
it's rompope.
Rompope.
Yeah, I don't know what it is in English. I'm gonna look it up.
So the
right now.
fruity, more of the fruity route. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm more of a
Right.
chocolate, but that,
Mhm.
I like a good sorbet here and there.
Yeah. Usually when I go to the place for the ice cream place will tell me
Yeah.
what I want, especially if they have like a special. Yeah,
I know, those
I'm
are
sold.
fun.
Yeah.
Those,
Those
they
are
don't
the
always
best.
have it.
I would have never guessed eggnog.
Oh.
Oh, I do love eggnog.
Yeah,
My current favorite eggnog that's like store brand is the Southern Comfort one. It doesn't have alcohol in it, so just stating that, but it is the best store brand eggnog I've had.
Here I thought I didn't like eggnog, and I've been...
And this
And
whole
that's
time,
your favorite ice cream.
Eggnog
it's been
ice
your
cream.
favorite.
You learn something new every day.
You
Right?
should make some eggnog ice cream for yourself.
I should. I have the machine, too. It's just getting to work.
Right. Well, thanks so much for coming and joining us today and sharing your information, your business journey, and
Appreciate it.
Your story. It was really fun to have you.
yeah, super fun.
Thanks
And
for having me.
I'm sure tons of people will be like, yeah, I'm going to get ready to be comfortable with the uncomfortable because Gabe told me so.
And he
Yeah.
said it's okay.
He said it's okay
Because Kayla's getting it tattooed on her arm.
because I'm going to get it tattooed on my arm.
And next time
Video
you
to
see me, I
come.
might have it on my neck.
We can take pictures. It'll
No
be fun.
regrets, right?
Yep.
No regrets.
Exactly.
Not a single letter.
Cool.
Oh.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. It was a super cool time.
Yeah, thanks so much. We appreciate it.
We do.
We look forward to food truck season
Yeah.
2023.
So we come
2020.
visit. We'll be
Yeah.
a part of the line.
2023, that sounds... ugh.
Isn't that
Crazy.
Crazy. I know. It does. Thank you for joining. You can find the resources and tools mentioned in today's episode at the vault at 201.com. If you like this episode, be sure to subscribe and share with a friend.
And be sure to watch for our next episode on resources for your small business. I swear it won't be dry. It'll be fun, guys.
Thank you to Big Sky Economic Development for supporting The Vault at 201 North Broadway. Big Sky Economic Development provides leadership and resources for business creation, expansion, retention, new business recruitment, and community development.